Em 1987, a Fórmula 1 teve uma de suas temporadas mais eletrizantes. Nelson Piquet e Nigel Mansell, companheiros de equipe Williams e grandes rivais nas pistas, brigaram duramente pelo título. Piquet se deu melhor e conquistou seu terceiro campeonato em cima do inglês. 25 anos se passaram desde aquele confronto histórico da Fórmula 1 e os dois campeões passaram rapidamente pelo Brasil para duelar novamente nas pistas, em uma campanha publicitária de uma grande montadora. Entre uma gravação e outra, Piquet e Mansell conversaram com exclusividade com o repórter Thiago Maranhão neste Linha de Chegada, entrevista especial a partir de agora.
Olá a todos, muito bem-vindos a esse Linha de Chegada, entrevista muito especial, 25 anos depois de uma das maiores rivalidades da história da Fórmula 1. Temos aqui reunidos tricampeão mundial Nelson Piquet, campeão mundial inglês Nigel Mansell. Como os dois, como o Nelson fala inglês perfeitamente, o Nigel é inglês para que ele participe da conversa o tempo todo, vamos conduzir a entrevista em inglês. Começar perguntando há quanto tempo eles não se viam. This is some encounter you two here together. When was the last time you two met?
Not familiar.
I don't remember. Do you remember?
25 years, you said.
Yeah, 25 years that the last time we raced together. Right? Yeah.
You haven't spoken since?
No.
No, we're very good friends.
What are you doing nowadays? What are you doing nowadays?
I do a lot of work for the government and for a big charity in England. I head up President of UK Youth, which I head up 45,000 people, and we reach over 1 million children in 1 year. I sit on the delegation of road safety for the world, which is an amazing thing. We have a mandate to save 5 million people's lives over the next 10 years and 50 million accidents. So we do a lot of work with that, and then we have a UK youth professional bike team on 2 wheels.
And that's huge.
Like the Tour de France, it's incredible. My youngest son races for the team, and this takes up a lot of time, and it's amazing.
That's great to hear. But what about you, Nelson? What are you doing today?
First, I want to ask him, how am I to make money with that?
Yeah, you can't. You have to spend it. He's the businessman on that.
You're just saving the world.
Well, no, the most fantastic thing for us is to empower young children to make better decisions in life. And in our country, like your country, we have millions of people out of employment or in education. And so to help children is fantastic.
So, Nelson, what are you doing nowadays?
Well, working. Well, it's 20 years ago I started the company, and I was a tracking system for cars and trucks, and they've been working the last 20 years, a lot.
When you got here, Nigel, you said that you look just the same, but I have to ask about the mustache. Is it gone for good?
Yeah, the moustache fell off, but the one thing I'm happy with is that Nelson has reached his big birthday before I have. So we're still young at heart.
Last year, Vettel broke your record for most pole positions in the same season. He got 15, you had 14, and then here in Brazil he wore a mustache, a fake mustache, in your honor. How do you see this generation paying a tribute to yours?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, but as Nelson will attest to, that things have changed immeasurably, because now there's a lot more races in the year, a lot more opportunity to finish races with the reliability. When we used to race, the cars weren't quite as reliable. And obviously, if you went off the circuit, which we both did at times, it was very difficult to come back on the circuit. But it's a great honour for have any drivers of the present era to celebrate and remember the drivers of the past. It's good.
Nelson, you think this generation looks up to yours? They know what you did before then?
I don't know. Maybe they don't, maybe I don't. I don't know, it's difficult to say. But anyway, it's quite different times.
But what about this generation? Vettel, Alonso, Hamilton, do you think they are just as good as you were when you were racing? They have today so many good pilots as you did too.
Oh, I think so. I think they're very good. No doubt of that. Of course, they change a little bit, a lot. Before, we need to, how can I explain that? We need to know more about the cars and work more about engineers. Me and Mansell, we work in the time we have no telemetry, and we have to explain how the car is doing. Today, you need to be very quick and don't make mistakes for 70 laps. That's it. If you can do that, it's okay. But in those times, you need to set up the car. It was more complicated.
You think it's all about technology? It plays a bigger role today?
100%.
Yeah, you think so?
I think that the biggest thing to explain is, and there's a problem with the system of today in some ways, which is a good problem. Because when Nelson and I were driving, every year, unfortunately, someone died or was injured out of the sport, because when there was accidents when we were racing, you got a bad injury. And you didn't necessarily have to die, but then you weren't fit enough to drive, because there was no runoffs. So today you can have the cars going all over the circuit and come back on the circuit and no one gets injured, which is fantastic from a safety point of view.
But it's less challenging.
But it's a little bit less challenging, but the most important thing, there's a logjam of really good drivers now in GP2 and other series which can't get into Formula One, because the longevity of the drive in Formula One. When Nelson and I were driving, if you had 180 something Grand Prix or upwards of 200 Grand Prix, was the most fantastic career, yeah? And now you have drivers, Rubens Barrichello has got over 300 Grand Prix, and Jenson Button now is well over 200 Grand Prix. So the whole dynamics have changed in a big way.
But apart from that, would you say there's a pilot today that has a style that reminds yours, similar to yours?
Well, I think as Nelson has just said to me now, the regulations are so different with the DRS, the drag reduction system. When you're slipstreaming years ago, you had to pull out and, then you're sort of creeping past like this and, maybe you do this. But now with the drag reduction, they just go like that and it's a bit easier.
But it helps make the race more interesting.
Yeah, well, they have to do something because all the gearbox is all automatic up and down. So, Nelson and I, we had some races where Nelson won and beat me, and I beat him with only one mistake, one gear change. Was the only difference between winning and losing.
Do you see Nelson any pilot today with a style similar to yours?
Oh, it's difficult because I don't know even the style I have.
You never watch yourself.
Yeah, you don't watch it. But it's very different. It's quite different.
Who's the best today?
Well, I think Alonso is very good. I think Button is very good. Vettel is very good. I think both deserve to win the championship. I think there was more of a little bit lucky one, another one. And maybe Red Bull was a little bit better car than Ferrari, but they are very close.
How do you see it, Nigel?
Yeah, no, similarly, I think what Vettel has done, winning 3 world championships together, is incredible. But Adrian Newey, the car designer, and Red Bull, the team, have just done an outstanding job with Christian Horner at the helm. And, it's just outstanding. To win 3 world championships together is a very special achievement.
Nelson, you were an MC at the podium here in Brazil. It's a new experience for you. Did you have to hold back? You looked very comfortable in the position. But did you have to hold back, not to crack a joke or something?
Well, first thing, they don't let you tell nothing. You cannot talk about the championship, you cannot talk about anything, you cannot swear, you cannot say nothing, this and that. And I said, shut up, I took it back. And I went there and I asked what I want. The first thing, I wanna really interview Hamilton, talk about his rings. But he didn't give me a chance. But then I said, you've been very happy that Hamilton left the team.
And Massa cried up there. It's not very usual.
Yeah, nearly cried together.
You were a bit emotional too?
No, not really.
They didn't let you talk about the champion. What could you say up there?
No, they said the champion was not decided in that moment. You have to wait for maybe February to see if the car was not out of regulation. The thing is too complicated. They said, come on, everybody's know the guy who won the championship. Everybody's Alonso lost the championship.
You couldn't
and the
say
guy was
congratulations.
Screaming in my ears, don't talk about the championship.
You, on the other hand, Mansell, you were a race steward a couple of times. How do you see these former drivers analyzing race situations?
I think it's very helpful for the FIA. The FIA have a tough job, and to have the advisors of past drivers and past champions in the steward's office can be very supportive of the current drivers because they see things in a different way.
There's something else you two have in common. You two have sons that drive today. How is it like for you? Did you have to push them to the track?
No. I mean, I was very disappointed when they wanted to go in racing, but
Were you against it?
it's absolutely no. It's very difficult. I mean, today is so different because the money involved today. You know, people are paying millions to be a Formula One driver. In our day, we used to get paid money to race in Formula One, and the dynamics have changed so much. So we had a decision 3-4 years ago where what money we were spending in motor racing we would spend in the charity to help children, and this is much better feeling.
You have two sons that drive?
Two sons, yeah. They won the LMP1 race in Hungary, the international race where we beat Peugeot and that, which was a great race there. And then we tried to get sponsors the following year to do it, and it's just very difficult to get sponsors.
And Nelson is doing great in NASCAR. How did he get into it? Did you finance him in the beginning? Did you tell him not to do it?
No, after the big problem we had there with Renault, the first 2 years he spent the money he got in a court case, and now he got some sponsor and he's continuing in America. Well, he happy there.
And he's doing fine. He's chosen the most popular driver. You don't see this as a very important thing.
Well, I hope he'll be the champion. That's the main thing, you know. To be popular is something, but have to win races and win the championship.
Besides winning, did you feel popular when you were a driver?
Me?
Yes.
No, I don't give a shit for that.
How did you feel?
About what?
Did you feel popular as a driver?
I was very lucky because, I mean, the thing to be very balanced here is that when Nelson and I came together, Nelson was already a double world champion, and I was privileged. I raced with Keke Rosberg, who was a world champion, with Alain Prost, world champion, with Nelson. And in those days, when you were a number one driver or a number two driver, there was a big difference from the point of view of, you know, it wasn't anybody's fault. Technology then wasn't there, as Nelson said about the computers. It hadn't sort of really been invented then. And so the reliability of the cars were a little bit different. But it was great racing, you know, with Nelson and with Alain and with Keke, and I learned an awful lot. And that's why I retired in 1990, because if you are never given the opportunity of the best engines, best equipment, best everything, you can make the numbers up and you can be a fantastic number two, and you can be a pain in the ass, like I was for Nelson and other people, but you never got the opportunity. But when I retired in 1990 with Ferrari, it was fantastic. Since then, while I was retired, I won 2 world championships, so I was really happy with that.
You two never had a dispute regarding popularity between you two?
No, but the thing is, when I joined Ferrari, it was fantastic. You see, it's money can't buy. If the fans nickname you Leone the Lionheart, and the British fans and the fans around the world, they appreciated great drivers and drivers who could race. Nelson could race, I could race, Ayrton Senna raced, Michael Schumacher, but then there's other champions sometimes that drove the car with a very clever head, but they didn't actually race. So a racer makes things happen. A driver wins championships, but then it's not so exciting. So I always got on with the fans very well.
You just said that technology has changed a lot. Would you say that technology and money has a bigger role today to join Formula One? Would you say there's a pilot today, or was there ever a pilot that didn't deserve to be in Formula One?
For sure.
Many pilots.
Yeah. If you want to get shot, that's fine.
Many drivers, or just 1 or 2 drivers, or many drivers today?
Some.
Some.
Yeah, the thing is, to back up what Nelson just said there, Nelson and I, the cars we drove, there was no power steering. We had to change gear with the gear shift, and there was 3 pedals. You had to synchronize the pedals. If you got the wrong gear changing down, you blew the engine, and you know, there was a lot more input, wasn't there? You had to actually manage the car a lot more, and so, you know, some of the drivers today, only some, you know, a few, they wouldn't probably have the physical strength of the drivers of the past.
Today it looks more like a video game sometimes.
It's a very good game. It's a very strong game, but Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport worldwide, and it's truly the most fantastic thing. It's given Nelson his life, and and mine, and there's been lots of interesting moments, isn't there, where, you know, it could have been a little bit better, but it's just magnificent part of motorsport.
Nelson, you didn't have simulators back then. You had to learn the track by driving.
Of course, yeah. Sometimes that's the reason we done Formula 3 in England, or European Formula 3. You done for the most circuit. You get in Formula 1 there for the first year. You know already where to go. You know, it was important to do Formula 3 in those days. Even the English Championship, even the European Championship. You know, but you have, for sure, you don't have any kind of simulator in those times.
That's how you learn in Formula 3.
Yeah.
But you think simulator is a good thing today?
Well, I never been a simulator. Sometimes I have this game. I saw my children playing the game, and when I look, say, "Oh, you're in Monza. Oh, you see where you are," because it's quite the same. But I don't think it's the same feeling. But for sure, for learn the circuit, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take a short break. A gente volta já para falar um pouco mais das histórias desses duas lendas do automobilismo, dois campeões mundiais da Fórmula 1. Linha de chegada, entrevista especial. A gente volta já.
I counted 24 of our teammates or people who raced together with us who are not with us anymore.